In this video, I will be solving the unlucky one problem of the Array-1 section. Here is the 5 seconds break for you to pause and attempt this problem on your own. Alright, now let's read the problem statement. We'll say that a 1 immediately followed by a 3 in an array is an unlucky one. Return true if the given array contains an unlucky one in the first two or last two positions in the array. So in the unlucky one method, we will be given an integer array nums, and based on that array, we are supposed to return true or false when 1 is immediately followed by a 3 and that 1 is in the first two or last two positions in the nums, then we return true, else we return false. Let's copy the examples. So if we see in the first example, 1 is immediately followed by a 3 and this one is at index 0. Hence, true is being returned. In second example also, 1 is being immediately followed by a 3 and this one is at index 1. Hence, true is being returned. But in the third example, there is no 3 that is immediately following 1. Hence, false is being returned. If instead of 1 there was a 3, then this would have been true, since 3 is immediately following 1 and this one is at index 0. So this problem consists of two subproblems or two conditions that we need to check. First is that 3 should immediately follow 1, and second is that 1 should be at one of these indexes, that is 0, 1 or len minus 2 and len minus 1, where len is the length of the nums array. Why? Because we are supposed to return true only if 1 is at the first two or the last two positions in the given array. So for the time being, let's first talk about the condition 1. How can we check that 1 is immediately followed by a 3 or not in the given array? So that's quite simple. If we are having an integer array, something like this one only, 2, 1, 3, 4, 5, we can traverse this array starting from 0 and go till its length minus 1. I'll show you why. And here we can, here we can check pairs or the corresponding elements in each of the iteration. Let me first show you just the output as out, or the current pair at I and I plus 1 is D and D is D and D. Yes. And this would be I. First one will be I, second one will be I plus 1, and last two will be air of I and air of I plus 1. So if I execute this now, we will be getting corresponding pairs in each of the iteration 2, 1, 1, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5. In a single going, we have got all the pairs. And we use minus 1 here because in the last iteration we are checking this element and its corresponding or the following element. If we not use or if we don't use the -1 here, then we will be facing an overflowing condition. That's why. So if now we can write if array of I is equal to 1 and array of I plus 1 is equal to 3, which is our first condition. 3 immediately follows the 1. Then we can write found pair. Let's try to do this, and we should be getting found pair with this second pair. And also let me add this thing. Yes. So here we can see we have found one such pair. So this is how we can check the first condition. And if in the question it was not mentioned that this line was not mentioned basically, then our question would have been solved by using this condition only, or this logic only. But apart from this, or in addition to this, we are also supposed to check one more condition, that is this one should be at one of these indexes, that is 0 1 or length -2 length -1. How can we do that? For this we can either write the condition in this if logic only, or we can delegate that logic into a separate function. Let's do it in a separate method. Public boolean is at something is index at the or is index in the valid range. Here we can pass the index and pass the length of the array, and here we can return true if index is 0 or index is 1, or if index is length -2, and finally if index is equal to length -1. So this will be returned true only if the index lies either at the first two positions or at the last two positions. And now we can use this method inside this condition, and here pass the index as I and len as len. What's the issue here? Okay, we need to define it as static, of course. Yes. And here we are supposed to define one variable as well, static len is equal to air dot len. Yes, now it should work. So again this is being executed because here 1 is at the index 1, but if I add one more element here, something like 2, now here we can see again 3 is immediately following 1, but this one is not at the first two positions. Now these two statements won't get executed. Let me show you. See, but if I will remove this part, then they will get executed. Yes. So this is how we can solve this problem. Now let's add the code here and run the test cases. Then int len would be nums of length. Now we can use this part. Here use nums, remove the printout statement. Here also use nums and nums, and of course add this method as well. After this line. Yes. Now here we are not supposed to print out anything, but rather return true, because we have found an unlucky one. And in case we have traversed the loop and we have not encountered this condition or have not entered into this if block, it means we have not found an unlucky one, and we can straight away return false. So I think this should work. Let's try to run the test cases and verify. Yes, all of them pass. Now let me add this code on the platform. then we'll push it on the GitHub. Okay, we are not supposed to use static here. Remove this and add it here. Yes. Yes, all correct. And now let's push it on GitHub. Unlucky1 solution added. GLG, one commit to make, and gpush, and verify the code has been uploaded. Done.